Hello, folks. Welcome to our presentation on FabMax, which I'm hoping you will look forward to. I hope you've been planning on this all week long. Doesn't my shirt look strange? Can you see that from where you are out there? It's not blue. It's really white. I don't know what's up with that. Okay, so let's talk about, everybody remember what Fab Plus was all about and how we used that to syndicate all of your listings across a bunch of internet sites, more than 900 of them as a matter of fact. Well, what would be better than Fab Plus? After all the many years we used this platform and used it to drive our business for our agents, well, I'll tell you what's better than Fab Plus, and that would be Maximum, or FabMax as we are referring to it here in the Colorado market. This is a powerful tool in a market that needs listings desperately, and it allows you the opportunity to capture those leads easily, quickly, but there have been some changes, and that's why we are here to talk to you today about what exactly is FabMax. So I'm going to roll over to my presentation here, and we will get started. Bear with me. Okay. We're almost there. Perfect. Here we are. Okay. So, Fab Maximum. This is where awesomeness happens right here at Coldwell Banker. I hope that you're going to enjoy this stuff because it's really good for you and your business. FabMax websites. So let's begin to talk about which websites are affected by this. And there are a lot of them out there. So, which websites are included in the FabMax or Maximum program? 4 major websites. These are the ones that cost the big money, but additionally more than 900 websites through our distribution partners at the regional and local levels across the country. So we are, as always, looking for new and interesting ways to maximize the exposure for you and your listings when you take one. Anybody planning on taking a listing this year? I hope someone is going to take a listing, maybe a dozen of them more this year than they took last year. That would be great. But the 4 major sites that we're going to be dealing with today: Realtor.com, where we see a lot of really good traffic being driven; Homes.com, Zillow, and our friends at Trulia. So these are certainly the most traveled websites out there and the ones that the vast majority of people go to when they are searching for property on the internet. Well, we've made sure that you are prominently displayed for all of these. So will all the traffic from 900 possible sites be reported on the Insight report? Not all of them, no. So just these primary websites are going to be available for your Insight report, showing you exactly who's visiting your listing preview pages, your listing detail pages, and exactly where they came from. So the sites that will be tracked: Realtor.com, Homes.com, Zillow, Trulia, Coldwell Banker Homes, of course, ColdwellBanker.com, ColdwellBankerLuxury.com, Home Finder Network, and the Wall Street Journal or the WSJ.com. So anyone looking for your properties on those sites, you'll be able to track exactly how many visits are directed your way coming from those places. That's good to know. That's great analytics. You know who's going to be paying attention and where. Should you decide to spend money with any of these sites, you can certainly track that information and use that to make the most wise spend in terms of your own marketing dollars. So how often are listings sent to these various partner sites? This comes up an awful lot. We get the question frequently: how quickly will I see my new listings? And being as this is the interwebs out there, there's always going to be some lag time. Once the information is drawn from the MLS, it will frequently take some time before the website puts it where it's supposed to go. But here's the way we get it from the actual providers themselves. Realtor.com goes and takes a new feed from our MLS 6 times per day. Trulia, 4 times per day. Zillow, 10 times per day. Homes.com, 8 times per day. And most of the other sites will only pick it up once a day, various times of the day throughout. So those you can expect probably a little bit greater delay on. If you do not see your new listing, or you don't see any new changes that you made, a price adjustment, anything that you changed in the remarks, and those things have not been refreshed, please do call the help desk, 877-NRT-HELP. That's 877-NRT-HELP. Call today. With the MLS ID, and give them the details of exactly what's missing or what has not changed and what you need to report. And that's how you're going to go ahead with that. Now, we do know when it comes to certain changes with a listing, for example, putting properties under contract, very frequently these websites will, shall we say, drag their feet a little bit because they are hoping to provide additional leads to the agents who have paid for those zip codes. So sometimes they will, I fear, deliberately delay putting a property under contract because they're trying to drive more traffic to the agents who are paying their bills. Because it's a for-profit situation. What can I tell you? That's the way they are. All right. What will be displayed on my listings? You will have your photo and your contact information, multiple photos, and multimedia virtual tours where applicable. And we will talk in a few moments about how your listings will be pushed higher up on the list of properties meeting specific buyers' criteria based on whether or not there is video involved or virtual tours. So it's going to be important. All of us should probably be using video by now for our listings, but if we're not, certainly using listing rewards is going to allow you that capability and will certainly help provide your property sooner in the search results as a result. Links to your profile will be on your pages, or in some cases, a link to your profile in Coldwell Banker Homes or your InTouch website. Driving traffic to your InTouch website is always going to be a good idea. It is a highly functional system, and for those of us who aren't driving sufficient traffic to that, that's a big tool that is sitting in the toolbox collecting dust. We don't want that. Okay, let's keep talking about this here. All right, if we are looking at phone numbers, for example, right here, when you go into your Coldwell Banker Homes profile page, and this is something that I know the office administrators are working on across the metro right now, but you should go and check this out for yourselves. Go and look at your agent profile page through the NRT Gateway, and you will see that box on the lower right that shows the agent data that's been provided. If they don't have a direct phone number in there, that's going to be critical for us to make sure that we get that handled. So if you go to your websites, if you go to your profile page here on Coldwell Banker Homes, and if any of this information is missing, you're going to want to see your office administrator and get that corrected just as quickly as possible to make sure that these leads are going somewhere. The company pays a great deal of money to involve us all in FabMax, and we want to make sure that any leads that are coming our way are not going unanswered. The National Association says that upwards of 40% of all leads, all real estate leads, are never answered at all on the internet. Is that just hard to believe or what? People just don't want to earn any money. Why would they? I don't know. But we don't want our leads going down the wormhole or disappearing into the cyber crazy. So make sure that all these phone numbers are there and available. You're going to want your direct phone number to be your main phone number that you would like to receive those calls at. We do not really want to use your office direct line for fear of the fact that some of your interested buyers may end up getting a hold of whoever is working floor duty in your offices that day. And we would prefer to drive this traffic directly to you as the listing agent. You know the most about the properties that you are listing and selling. Don't you? Tell me you do. I know you do. All right, moving right along. Will I be the only agent displayed on my listing? Okay, here's the upshot of this. On Realtor.com and Homes.com, you are the exclusive listing agent and the only featured agent on your listings. So you'll be the only person that shows. If you look at this particular property listed by our friend and confidant Mike Desmarius out of the Denver Central office, you will see that he is branded with a photograph and with the company logo at the very top of the page. It has his direct phone line there, and it talks about our office line. So he's fully branded there, and he's the only agent available on that detail page. So this will continue to be the case on Realtor.com and Homes.com, and we are super excited about that. This is some new branding, and it's going to be a fresh look for all of us, which I think is a good thing. Zillow and Trulia. Now, this is where things have changed, and this was not, unfortunately, our idea, but Zillow and Trulia are two of the major players here in the business, or one of the major players here in the business across the interwebs. And you will note now that it is no longer possible for us to block all other competition from the page. However, if it's your listing, you will be the #1 agent listed. So that's excellent news. There is the possibility here, though, that someone's going to click on the other 3 agents that are showing on that page. This is not something that in the past we were able to write Trulia a really unbelievably large check and get them to block everybody else from our preferred listings. But that is no longer going to be the case. Here's the upshot of this, though. If you look, you will see that in this case, Brad Jensen is the listing agent on this one. There are 3 other agents there to choose from. It's going to be critical, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes, to get your reviews up and running on this system. You see those little stars next to everybody's name? You need a bunch of stars and you need a bunch of reviews, because the person with the most of these 4 is probably going to be the one that gets clicked on. So keep that in mind. We will come back to this in a moment. Here's the other thing. How will your listings appear in the search? Will they be prominent in the results? The 4 main sites will be displayed based on the results relative to the user's search. So whatever meets their criteria, it's going to come up in that order. One exception on Zillow and Trulia, listings with a video will display first when people put in their criteria. So this is again critical and something I covered a moment ago. If we are not using listing rewards and if we do not include any video in our marketing efforts for our listings, they're going to fall further down the list. So it's time to come into the future with the rest of the business and begin embracing video if we haven't already. So bear that in mind. This video restacking of the available listings is known as a boost, and it happens only the first time. So it's only the first time a visitor searches will that video get you where you're going. So again, kind of a case in point where you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Think hard about using video if you're not. Okay, I'll not belabor that further. Will the Zestimate still be suppressed on the listing detail pages? So it's below the fold, where it's not immediately available for people to see. We know that the Zestimate can deeply, fundamentally, and profoundly mess with us when it comes to pricing. So we don't want that Zestimate to be out there confusing people unnecessarily. So we have been able to get that Zestimate to appear low down on the page. Somebody will have to scroll quite a ways down before they're able to find that. So that we have done deliberately to make your job a little easier as well. Don't want that Zestimate messing up your price concerns. Okay, what about your leads? Hey, let's talk about leads. How will leads from your listings be delivered to you? All leads from your listings across all of these platforms will be delivered to you with a 15-minute claim time, just as it currently happens. And once accepted, they will appear in your InTouch CRM, which is what you find at the landing page for your NRT gateway. So you will know right away when you get one of these. Accept these as quickly as you can, because if you don't, the unclaimed list leads will go on to our e-team members. So whatever way you have your InTouch set up is how you receive your leads. That can be by cell phone, by email, by text, by all of the above. I would probably recommend that you turn on all of the above just to make sure that you're not missing any leads and that they don't go off to someone else uninvolved with your listing. Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't you prefer to double end a thing this year? Does anybody like to double end a thing? I caught Katrina with her mouth full. Gotta love that double ending. All right, let's move right along. Okay, so super important, we talked about the phone numbers already. Your direct phone line needs to be in there, so speak to your OA about that in your office once you check for yourself to see that it's there. This is critical. Please do that. Okay. Will I receive leads on my listings? Realtor.com and Homes.com, the listing agent will be the only agent shown, and the listings will always go to you. Only to you, and only to you. Don't you like that? I think that's a great thing. Zillow and Trulia, this has changed a little bit, again, because of Zillow and Trulia's direction they're moving their business in. But the listing agent is the first agent displayed in the list of 4 possible local independent sales associates. Who are they? People who paid to be on that page. So as you know, and as many of you I'm sure are customers of Zillow and or Trulia, purchasing leads, people buy those by the zip code, and if it fits their criteria, they are likely to land on the page along with you. But you will be first as the listing agent. Okay? These other people may or may not be with Coldwell Banker. Across the websites, the leads will go with a 15-minute claim time in the event that they choose you to get more information from. Now, what happens if they choose somebody else? Well, we'll get there. I'll tell you about it in a minute. I thought that was the next slide, but I was clearly mistaken. Will I be the only agent displayed on my listing on Realtor.com? You will be. So again, here is Mike Desmarius' listing, and as we covered earlier, you can see that he is photo branded there, and his direct line is available. He's the only agent available on this detail page. So that'll be the way that continues to stay for Realtor.com and Homes.com. Now, what if a consumer submits a request for more info on Trulia or Zillow, but does not check a box next to the agent with whom they hope to speak? If no agent is checked, so they want more information, but they didn't select who they want that information from, the lead is delivered to the first paying Premier agent on the contact form. Now, I know we have a number of agents out there who are paying Premier agents. Keep in mind, and we had this come up in a live training the other day, just because you are a paying Premier agent does not mean that you would get the lead, even necessarily if this was your listing, if you are not paying to be a premier agent in the zip code where the listing sits. So it's still going to be somebody who's paying for that zip code who's going to get the lead first. Just something to make you aware of, and it's a little beyond our control, but this is the way it now works with our partnership with Zillow and Trulia. Does that make sense? Was that confusing? I hope not. You can't talk back to me, so I don't know. If you have questions, feel free to forward those on to us, and we will get them answered for you. Okay, now here's the other thing. On Zillow or Trulia, somebody does not pick you. They pick somebody else that they want more information about that particular property on. We have been able to work out a pretty ingenious little idea with Zillow and Trulia, which says what it does is the minute anybody requests more information from any agent on the page, you are also going to get an automatically generated email. So it's sent to you as the listing agent with contact information of the agent who did get the lead, as well as the contact information of the buyer or seller who sent it, the person who's the end user out there in computer world. Whoever requested that information, you're going to get their contact information. So the leads are never sent to all the agents on this list unless the buyer physically checks all 4 agents, but you still have the opportunity to be the first in the queue, because we know statistics from NAR and a variety of other sources tell us that a buyer on the internet is frequently going to, in fact most often, going to use the first person who gets back in touch with them to purchase their home. When you receive this email, even if the lead was not directed to you, you still have the opportunity to pick up the phone, call that person, that end user out there, and say, I understand that you made a request for more information on this property. Are you currently represented by anyone? That would be an excellent first question. Am I making myself pointedly clear here? Ask them if they are represented by anyone, and then offer to give them any information they may be seeking about your listing. Since you, again, are the listing agent, you will know all the information. So we have lost a little bit of something with Zillow and Trulia. However, we have gained a little bit of something here too. So we're kind of excited about this, and we think it may actually drive more traffic to us. Okay? Hope that's clear. I feel like it is, but then again, I don't know. We purchased lead notifications for each of your listings. This is also something new to you. So here's a sample. An inquiry was just submitted. So this is the email we were just talking about. An inquiry was submitted to your listing to a Zillow Premier agent. So this is the actual email you would receive from Zillow that says you have a potential lead out there. So if this kind of a thing looks like an ad to you, or it looks like trash, or a piece of marketing material you don't want, pay close attention here. You're going to want to make sure that these Zillow emails are coming through your spam filter and you're receiving these in real time so that you can beat that other agent to the punch when it comes to calling and hopefully contracting with the client. Does that make sense? So keep an eye on this. Memorize this. Take a mental snapshot of this email, because these are going to be important to you. And you'll notice in here, for your records, the client's name is in there. Her name is Ann M. Hall in this email. And should you need to contact the client directly to assist scheduling, click here. That will give you the information that you seek to reach out to that end user. Good to know. On Zillow and Trulia, what happens if you're the listing agent but the user chooses to send the lead to another agent displayed on the listing and advertising section? This is what I just talked about. The email is sent to you, the listing agent, with the contact information. So you are sure to be able to capture that lead if you're quick on the uptake. All right? So look at the forward on this email. This is going to be what you're looking for in your inbox. It says notification of Zillow listing activity. So pay attention to that. Make sure it doesn't go in your spam folder. Okay, cool. So it would be advisable if for these kinds of things you had an email template readily prepared. Something like what Todd put together for us here that says, Dear buyer, thank you for inquiring about my listing 123 Main. As you may know, I'm the listing agent of this property, which means I know more about the property and its unique features and the neighborhood. It would be my pleasure to answer your questions or have any questions you have, or schedule a tour when it's convenient for you. Having this ready to pop back into the email real fast, you wouldn't want to type this every time one of these happens for you, especially if you're a good listing agent. You have a lot of listings out there. So create yourself a template like this and be ready to be the first to strike when one of these notifications comes through on your inbox. God, I feel like this is really dry and boring. Is everyone excited? Should I stop and tell a joke? Do we need a show tune? Never mind. There's no time for that. We're all business here at Coldwell Banker. Okay, making the most of FabMax. What does all this mean to you? Why do you care about any of this? Why does it matter to you? Other than, I think what's clear, which is that we are certainly trying to capture the maximum number of buyer leads for your listings that we can. But what can you do in general to maximize your presence online? Well, there's a number of things, and most of us who out there in cyberland that's watching me right now, has recently Googled themselves. Do you know what your search results say? Because it is incredibly important that you meet somebody in an open house, you see somebody at a cocktail party, they're considering hiring an agent. What are they going to do? What's the first thing they're going to go do? They're going to internet stalk you. So if you don't know what your internet footprint looks like, you can bet that many of the people that you are trying to garner as clients already know what your footprint looks like out there. So be aware, be completely clear about that. To that end, here are some things you can do to help yourself in this area. Complete your free profile on Zillow. You can either do this on Zillow or Trulia. You don't have to do it both places. It will migrate to whichever other one. So just pick one and make sure that it's fully filled out. Activating and managing your online presence with Zillow and Trulia is easy and it's free. And we like free, don't we? So after completing your Zillow profile, the Trulia one, as I said, will automatically be there. Go to Zillow.com and click the join button in the upper right hand corner where you see the green 1. Then number 2, register with Zillow as an industry professional and complete the contact fields. Complete all of them. As much information as you can give, the better off you will be. Once you're in your Zillow profile, select edit to upload a photo, professional details, and complete the About Me section. I think it's incredibly important that we let people know who we are. As our client base gets younger and younger, they are much more interested in finding out who we are as people. That is why you probably don't get very many visits to your Facebook business page. Look at my listing, look at my closing, look at my listing, look at my closing. They turn you off. Why? You're boring. So this About You is your section to actually get in there and tell people who are you and why are you passionate about the business and why should they work with you on a deeper level. Great way to amplify and burnish your online reputation. Okay? Use the top navigating bar, number 4, to manage your listings, upload past sales, and more. Okay? All edits on your Zillow profile will automatically go over to Trulia, so you only have to do it one time with these 2 sites. And in candor, we are seeing a lot of the traffic being driven primarily to these 2 sites. Realtor.com is capturing more market share by the year, but on a look-for-look basis, Trulia and Zillow are the only game in town. So this is critical to make sure that your profile is fully filled out. Now, what are reviews on Zillow and Trulia, and why do I see stars next to some agents? I don't know. When everybody looks at me, they always see stars. It's a joke, Katrina. God, people are so serious. Okay, look at Brad Jensen here. So this is something we talked about before. Do you see right next to Brad, right immediately beneath Brad Jensen's name, there are 5 stars there. So he's getting great reviews from people. Now, immediately to the right of that, you'll see in parentheses, he's got 14 reviews. However, Lisa Taylor has 5 stars. She's got 39 reviews. Wayne Keith has 5 stars. He's got 48 reviews. So if you are a consumer out there in the marketplace, obviously the 5 stars is going to matter. If anybody had 2 stars, you probably wouldn't pick that one, I imagine. Now, would you? But you're not going to have any stars at all or any numbers until you start actively campaigning with your past clients to get some testimonials uploaded into this system. So you want the 5 stars and you want the maximum number of good reviews that you can get here. This is a lot the way Yelp works out there. And people really do pay attention to these stars and things. I notice when I'm shopping Amazon.com for, I don't know, new charge cables for my telephone, I never buy the one that's got 2 stars, even if it's cheaper. I buy the 4-star one, I buy the 5-star one. And I think our buyer clients out there are feeling a lot the same way. So don't give this short attention. This is going to need to be something that you pay attention to and get this up and running. And it's the kind of thing, too, where it's always content. So if you've got new closings happening, not a bad idea to even discuss with your clients at the closing table where they've got nothing better to do, if they'll jot down a few nice lines for you so that you can transpose them into this site for them and create for yourself some of that leverage. All right? It's very important that you get these client reviews. They can help generate a lot more free leads from your listings. If you're a consumer with a few options of agents to choose from, you're not going to pick the one who has no profile or no information in their profile or has no reviews or looks like they've never worked with anyone before. That would be bad, so don't do that one. Okay, data shows that agents with 10 or more reviews get 5 times as many leads. So let's just cover that again. Only 10 reviews or more will get you 5 times as many leads as you're currently receiving. Does that sound like it would be worth the investment in time? I think it does. I'd do it if I was you. That's true. You can go into the system and request these client reviews. I would let your clients know that this is coming before you do this, or you're going to find yourself, unfortunately, people are going to throw these out. They're not going to notice to do it. And if you reach out to them specifically, then they are less likely to not do it. So this is one of the ways you can handle that. But requesting reviews, make sure that you reach out probably by phone to your clients and say, there's something coming from Zillow. Could you please spend a couple of minutes of your valuable time and fill it out for me? That is the best way to go about that. Okay? You can request multiple reviews by listing your past clients' email addresses in the form and then send them a personal message. I would not make this look like a total form letter, so you might want to do these individually, although it's more time consuming, but you're going to want some personal information in this email. If you blast this out to 50 people all at once, they're probably going to ignore it and just think it's spam, throw it out. So careful with that. This is just another opportunity for client contact, and we're all about client contact to begin with. So every opportunity you have to reach out and have a meaningful conversation with your client base, your past clients, any of your sphere of influence, this is a terrific way to leverage that as well. All right, what do we got here? What are we looking at here now? The reviews matter. Okay, so look here at this example. Here's a almost $6 million property. Look at the estimated mortgage. Who would like to have a $6,300 a month mortgage?
Not me.
Wee, that's high. That's kind of steep. But I'll tell you what, this appears to have, not necessarily, but it possibly could have been listed by the Wolf Group. And what has the Wolf Group got sitting there next to their name? 5 blank stars and 0 reviews. Whereas Lisa Taylor, noted immediately following them, is sitting there with 48 reviews and 5 stars. So if you're a buyer looking at a $1.6 million house, are you going to trust the Wolf Group, about which nobody seems to know nothing? Or would you call Lisa Taylor? Or would you call Christopher Nairn? Or would you call Jacqueline Mabry? You might call any of these folks because, even Jacqueline, poor sad Jacqueline, she's got 5 stars, but she's only got 1 review. The Wolf Group, if they listed this place, has really, really made a mistake here. They really blew it. They're probably not going to get any internet leads based on that. See? So that's an example. That's what we're talking about. The reviews matter. All right. I'm not sure what this is supposed to tell me, but I think we've kind of covered it already. Brad Jensen has his reviews in there. Let's talk a little bit about Realtor.com for a moment, because our relationship, since we are kind of curtailed in our relationship a little bit with Zillow and Trulia, we have enhanced our relationship with Realtor.com. I want to discuss what that looks like. Currently, Realtor.com is showing higher conversion rates than Zillow and Trulia, and the leads coming through Realtor.com appear to be better. These are better qualified people. People who are using Realtor.com and NAR are the ones who have done the best research and tend to come to the table more qualified when they're looking for a buyer's agent out there in the marketplace. I want you to know that. NRT has spent $7 million making us the Realtor.com largest cash client. We invest in this because we believe in market dominance, of course. We want to make our agents more famous. The more money you make, the more money we all make, and we see why that would be. But you can understand where NRT has to think carefully about how to spend this kind of money. That's a big check to go right. So we wanted this money to go as far for you as possible. All right? On Realtor.com, what you see here is a non-branded listing page. It does say it's presented by Richard Grassa, who is a Metro Brokers guy, but he does not have his picture up there. There's nothing really more about him up there. So we have gone out of our way. He's the only agent being shown here, but we've gone out of our way to make your Realtor.com profile pages and listing detail pages look a little bit more dynamic than this. Again, we revisit Mike Desmarais. You can see his pretty mug up there on the top left and our Coldwell Banker logo. Again, however, bear in mind, he's the only one available through this page. So if they want to see this house and they don't know what agent to call, Mike's going to get a call. He's going to get an email. He's going to get a text right now in real time so that he can reach back to that client as soon as he has accepted that lead. So this is still powerful for us with Realtor.com, and we're super excited about that. All right, so what has been better than Fab Plus? I think we've covered it in some dreadful, gory detail today. Fab Maximum is what's better than Fab Plus. So we hope that you understand the functionality that the company is investing in for your business. And if you have further questions about it, keep an eye out. There are still some live trainings going on with this that Todd Moore is conducting around the state. Failing that, if you want to join me in a half an hour, we're going to do this all over again. I think that's everything I've got. And I wish you a lovely, lovely Thursday. See you soon. Bye-bye.